Do the names John and Betty Stam ring a bell with you? They're actually missionaries to China in the early 1930s. They met at Mooney Bible Institute while they were studying there, and they got married in 1933. In 1934, the very next year, they had their daughter, Helen Priscilla. Later that fall, they were transferred to a mission station in an area where communist bandits had been active. Without warning, the communists overran the city where they lived on December 6th. That same day, John sent a letter to his missionary headquarters in Shanghai, saying that the bandits had taken them captive and they were requesting $20,000 in ransom money. He told his captors that he doubted the mission would pay the money. The communists taunted them by discussing when they were going to kill the baby to be rid of it. A Chinese man heard the conversation and stepped forward to plead for the baby's life. "It's your life or the baby's," the bandits said. "I am willing," he replied, and was hacked to pieces. Two days later, John and Betty were marched through the village while the communists called for the people to witness their execution. One man, a Christian doctor, stepped forward and pleaded for John and Betty's life. He fell to his knees, but the communists ordered him to be taken away and killed. Then John was forced to kneel. Onlookers marveled at John's calmness. He began to open his mouth to speak, no doubt to share his Christian testimony, when the attackers slit his throat. Betty shuddered, fell to her knees beside him, and she too was decapitated. And what of their young daughter? When the communists took John and Betty away, they left the baby behind. For some reason, they never went back to get her. Nearly 30 hours later, a Chinese Christian found her in her bed, alive and well. Taking the baby, the friend hid her in a large rice basket on a bamboo pole and carried her 100 miles to safety, where she was safely delivered to Betty's parents. The martyrdom of John and Betty Stam is a lesson to all of us to count the cost of following Jesus Christ. The Bible clearly tells us all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. For the Christian, we see that suffering is not necessarily evil, nor is it out of God's sovereign will. But rather, our light momentary affliction is working for us a far more and exceeding weight of glory. And nothing can separate us from the love of Christ, not even death.